Everybody, I hope you all have had a wonderful 2020 Labor Day weekend. I know it's been a crummy year, but got to do the best we can, make the best of it. I wanted to make a new video, give you guys an update on the old Ford pickup we got for free. We've got her jacked up. Our biggest concern with it was the terrible grumbling noises it was making in the front. So we've been looking that over. My dad has mainly. The four-wheel drive, a lot of it up there is just really rusty and needs lubricated, so we're doing that. But there was something up underneath there that was rubbing up against the drive shaft whenever we turned the wheels. I don't know what it was, but he found it and he said he bent it back. I'm gonna have to ask him, because I don't know if that'd be that bad of a noise I was hearing. I don't think it'd have been just rubbing, but he did notice that there was some metal shavings on the side of the drive shaft, so it had been rubbing on something. So that's a start. Old pickup runs good. It could use a tune-up. We haven't actually tuned it up any, but for the most part, it runs good. Ran into one new snag with the gas tank. The line that returns from the engine back to the tank, it has come off the gas tank. So I'm gonna have to take the gas tank down again, which I need to, sadly, because the neck that goes in here and down to the tank, it wasn't put in there very well, and I'll willingly admit it was me, but it does not pump very fast. So if we ever did get this thing roadworthy enough to drive every day, I mean, of course, that's a minor thing. You know, you could just pump it a little slower, but it does gurgle back up if you pump too fast. So since I'm going to take the tank out anyway, I'll get that put in properly. Like I said, the gas is leaking out from the return line. It never did pump up when you first turned the key on. The pump would run for a good 10-15 minutes to prime the line, and then it would shut off, and then it would start, which means, you know, the line we have running up to the engine, it is not airtight, or it's just not the right kind of line anyway, so it loses that pressure every time you shut it off. So we're going to get the front end looked over. I'm going to get the gas tank rigged back up, take it down, get the lines all tight. Once we know for a fact, you know, this front end is not going to give us any trouble, it's not going to fall apart on us or anything terrible, it's not going to cost a whole lot of money, we are going to go ahead and have this truck taken down to town, where we're going to have the guys that work on my mom and dad's vehicles, we're going to have them fix the brake lines on it. I told him, might as well have them run some good gas lines from the gas tank up. I know since I'm taking the tank off, you know, maybe I ought to do that, but it's whenever you get up to actually right about where I'm at here to the back of the cab, you can't really see the line. It runs up where you can't even get a hold of it very well. In order to do all this right, they need to replace all of it. I bypassed the middle tank because it's rusted out. And maybe if they mess around with it, they'll be able to get the gas gauge to work even, which, of course, that's another minor thing. You know, it's a redneck pickup. You don't have to have a gas gauge. You just go buy your tack, fill up your tank, drive so many miles, go fill up again, do the math. You know, it's a 22-gallon tank. However many gallons you burn, so many miles. You can kind of keep track of that. It's all easy stuff, but just one of those things. I like to have a gas tank gauge working. Big thing I worked on that I underestimated how much annoying of an annoyance it would be is this switch and an actuator that runs up and down right here. The switch went bad, so as you all know from the first video, I had to use a pair of pliers, which I don't have them in here, but you had to use them to push on this rod that goes down to the actual switch. Well, there's an actuator on the inside of the steering column here, and they are notorious for breaking off on these, you know, 90s and between 1980 and 1990 Fords. Took the steering wheel off, and my gosh, guys, it's a nightmare. I read online they charge like $400 to do this kind of stuff. I could see why they did. I still wouldn't pay someone to do it because I was able to do it, but I was able to watch a few YouTube videos, a few tutorials to kind of cut corners the best I could, because there's a spring in this steering wheel, because this is a tilt steering wheel, and if you If you pull it clear off, that spring is going to come loose, and then it's an even bigger nightmare to get it all back together. So once I got the steering wheel off, I got the old actuator out because it was already broke. I had to punch little pins out of this, which you're supposed to use a special deal to get them out, but a little punch worked just fine. Got those pulled out. Tiniest little pins that hold the actuator in. Once I got those two big pins out, I had to pull this tilt wheel down without getting it, to come off completely, or it would have been a nightmare to get on. I had to pull the rod itself up, so I had to take this lock nut off, or whatever you call that, but I had to pull it back some so I could push the rod in and the bearing in so I could punch those holes out, punch those punches out. It was all just very, very tedious work, but it got done. And I had to do it twice because once I got the actuator put in, I was having trouble with the switch itself. The switch actually went bad on it too, so I had to buy a new switch. So I had to take it all apart again. And then I thought I wasn't going to be able to get it. I thought there's something else wrong because I kept turning this. It would only turn so far, kind of like it did before. I thought, well, what's wrong? Did the actuator break again? But no. The tumbler in this, you got to get it lined up just right, and you got to get the actuator deal that hooks onto it lined up just right. And that's what took like an hour, literally an hour, something that should have been just to pop it back in and it's ready to go. But I sat here for an hour rotating that tumbler back and forth to get it lined up just right, and I finally did. So happy about it. I'm going to turn it over real quick because, it's awesome that it actually works. Whoa, she started. Okay, I better shut her off because we've got gas running out the return line. So that means there must have been pressure in the line going up to the engine from the gas tank. But either way, that, doesn't look like much, but it was a major victory for me. Got it fixed myself. Only had to pay for the parts. The actuator and the switch cost me maybe 25 bucks, 30 bucks altogether. The window motor over here, the gears are stripped out. The motor works, so the motor could be took out and the gears could be replaced. Probably not going to do that. It'd be great if we could find another door with manual cranks on it or convert it. But I'm sure it'd be pretty easy. I've watched tutorials on it. And luckily, the one over there was just froze up. I got it unfroze. Now I got to grease the rails up on it. But the passenger side works, so we can go ahead and get the door panel put back on. Even though the door panels are rough, kind of like everything else. Got, your standard rips in the seats, and the truck needs to be cleaned quite significantly. But I like the looks of it. I mean, I love the looks of these box nose Fords. And I've had a lot of people comment and say it was actually like 91 or 92. I can't remember exactly when they stopped making these. And they went to the rounded ones. The ones that you saw through most of the 90s, until they got up to the 2000s, which is what my red pickup looks like. My dad drives it now. But yeah, it's an update on it, guys. It runs, and we have intentions of getting it ready to go. It'd be great if we get it ready to go before this winter. All honesty, I don't need it. I got my all-time four-wheel drive Ford Explorer in the garage in there, but my dad doesn't have any four-wheel drive vehicle. If he needed to get out here to me in the middle of a blizzard, it'd be nice for him to have this. I'm sure him and I both will be driving it. But it all depends upon what the condition of this front end is. If we can get it till it quits growling. We thought it was the calipers, but we're pretty sure it's not the calipers. But anyway, once we get all that done, we're going to go and have some of the other stuff that we are not exactly professionals at getting fixed, and get those fixed. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. I wanted to make an update. I know the original video where I went and got it, it actually has been getting quite a few views, a lot of comments on it. I'm glad you guys like it. I've had a lot of people comment. I say a lot, maybe a dozen, several handfuls out of the like 2,000 people that have viewed it. They're all like, this is fake. The truck's too clean. The truck, it's just fake. Well, it's not fake. I am going to say that I titled the video a specific way and kind of recreated when I went to get it. I'm going to be honest. I did park it where it was sitting in that video. this truck was given to me. It was given to me by a family friend. They didn't want to mess with it anymore, so we came and got it. And we basically went through everything I did in that video, minus the cleanliness. It was full of mouse crap, just absolutely filthy, but it did start. So I decided, you know, even though it's been a year since we actually got it, I took it down there, down just to the right, which is actually kind of west of the pond, down in that hole down in there, way down in there, and that's where I parked it. And then I did that video. I wanted to bring some light to this old truck. I know technically it's a fake video because I recreated me going to get it, but hey, the truck has been basically sitting in one spot ever since we got it, not running very good anyway. So I just got it started, moved it down into that hole, recreated the moment. So I'm sorry if it offended anyone or upset anyone, but other than that, it's pretty much all real. Pretty much all real. That friend was a family member instead of a friend, and that was it. Let's get a nice look of the truck all the way around. For a 90, the rust is pretty minimal. I think my electricity just went out. It's getting ready to storm. It's no big deal. I can open the windows up. It's nice and cool out. Anyway, nice pickup. Absolutely nice. Gotta get the junk out of the back too. Swimming pool floaty. About time to get the old swimming pool drained for the year. My mom insists on leaving it up a little longer because it could stay hot for a while for the rest of September. I told her, okay, but if it gets real cold and it doesn't warm up, you know it's going to suck because you're the one that's going to get in it to pull the plug and drain it, because I'm not getting in it when it's ice cold. I wanted to drain it this weekend, but it turned out to be a pretty good weekend to swim, so I'll give her that. All right, guys, make sure to like the video if you liked it, subscribe, comment, make sure if you want to see more action of the truck. I know this is a boring walk around video, and I'll make sure that's in the description box. Just kind of warn you all before you start watching this. But it's just an update. Can't really drive it, clearly. Don't have the wheel on it, and it's blowing gas everywhere. So if you guys want to see any other videos of stuff, got a lot of stuff that I'm planning to do around here. I'm going to make another video here shortly. It's going to be like one of my old styled vlogs in front of the computer and the webcam. I'm going to talk a little bit about the stuff that's been going on lately with my life, health things, just about everything, and other things I plan on doing with the year coming towards its end. I've been uploading at least one video every month. I got a few ideas for videos for the remainder of the year, but I'm going to save it for that video. So yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to subscribe so you can see that video when it comes out. See y'all later.